Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Great.
Welcome, everybody. Really good to see you all. Really good to see you all. Well, as usual, we've got a fantastic lineup. And Daisy is continuing with her mind-bending, mind-blasting training on our new Piezo Time Crystal Device. And we're going to be sharing some more information on the practical use of the device. I'll tell you what happened to me this week as well. And Daisy and Rita will be sharing their encounters as well this week. So Daisy, without further ado, over to you, our time crystal inventor. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. It was very interesting this week. Rita's been wearing the pendant. And Rita and I have been together for almost 10 years. And Rita just never, ever has checked a bill. You go to a restaurant, you get your bill. And her mother checks it all the time, but Rita doesn't. But here she's been wearing the pendant. And about 2 days ago, we were at a little restaurant. And they brought over the bill. And all of a sudden, Rita had the premonition to check it. Now, the bill came, and it was a little bit high. It was about 100 euros, and we didn't really, I didn't think, before I could say anything, and she didn't even look at the amount. She didn't know anything. She said she wanted to look at the bill because she had a premonition, and here she caught it. It was about, a 30, 40 euro mistake.
Wow. Jeepers.
It was very interesting, and I said, Rita, you've never, ever checked the bill before. She said, I had the strong feeling.
Yeah.
I had a premonition. So it was very interesting.
Stronger than usual, what you said.
Tell us some of your stories there.
Pardon?
You said you had some stories.
Yeah, so very interesting. There must have been some sort of tip-off. But I got these scammers arrived from one of the neighboring countries to South Africa. And they, I don't know how, it must have been a tip-off. So they arrived at the center. And I sort of looked at this lot. There were 3 people. And became immediately aware of my thinking from the abdomen, from the gut, not thinking from here, because I've been playing with this a lot, and I'm going to be presenting on this, the upper mind, the consciousness, and the abdomen. So I went straight down into that space, and I really looked at this without getting emotional or anything about it. And they wanted to pay me dollars, and I could go to the bank and check the dollars and all this kind of thing. Anyway, I realized straight away what was happening. And in a very short space of time, they were out of the center, gone and forgotten. But normally, I would have played along, and I would have probably done it. And, who knows, got myself into a complete pickle. But I was absolutely stable, present. There was no issue either. They left. And, all I can say is really it's got to do with training and practicing what you're teaching us, insofar as the 3 brains are concerned, insofar as our premonitions and our retro-causality. So there was no wrong decision there. There was no anything. I just knew they needed to get out. So, yeah, there you go. And I'm very, very grateful for that. Yeah,
very interesting.
I could have got scammed badly.
Well, we have the 3 brains. Let's talk about the 3 brains a little bit more. And we have our 3 brains, and basically, we're all familiar with our intellect. And the intellect is mostly our word area of the brain. This area of the brain is really where we do most of where we call our ego, we call our self. And we have this little word area of the brain that is going to be constructing sentences and trying to imagine, well, what are we going to do next? The word area of the brain imposes a timeline of the past, the present, the future. in order for me to speak now, I have to organize and think what's going to be the subject of the sentence, what's going to be the predicate, what's going to be the verb, what's going to be the action, and then what's the object. I throw the ball to Paul. Okay. So that means that there's an action and it takes place in a fashion. And if I just said ball throw I, you wouldn't really understand it. In other words, for me to speak, I have to put things in a proper order. I have to organize these things in this type of flow way. Now, this flow area of the brain, this part of the brain, starts to impose its logic into everything else and around us, so that we see our life as a flow. We see everything as things flowing in directions and everything. And that's not the way our lives completely work. That's just one perspective. Okay? So, but if we look at the word area of the brain, and it's easily distracted. The word area of the brain is tied very strongly to your eyes. So what you see, is what you see. And when we're looking for premonitions, we want to recognize when something comes from the gut, not from the word area of the brain. So if I'm looking at the tree next door and I see an apple, and then I start to think, okay, apple, and I associate apple with a snake, the biblical story, okay? And all of a sudden I start thinking about snakes. Is that a premonition? Well, no, that's not really a premonition. That's my mind chatter taking place, you see, because it came from a vision, and then it was an association. So when we have that type of association, that's not likely to be a premonition. It's possible, but it's not likely to be a premonition. Now, our heart area of the brain, the next place where we think, in our emotional circuit, this is where the heart, comes in, and the heart, knows things because of its emotional needs, and love, and the need for security, and for companionship, and the need for compassion. Compassion means having passion and sharing it, compassion with this. So we have our emotional mind, that acts on these type of things, and that's not quite our premonitions either. That is oftentimes built out of our own personal emotional needs, our insecurities, etc. Now we get down to our gut brain, our deep brain. And the gut brain is connected to our gut, where we have all of this bacteria and fungus that are there. This swimming state of awareness, the gut brain. And it is more in the now. It's the center of the body, so it's basically right there in the center. And it is connected not to the word area of the brain. It is very, very strongly connected to the right side of the brain, our intuition. This, where we get our gut feelings, is often where we're talking about premonitions. Premonitions are kind of coming from our gut, and they're coming there in the way of gut feelings. So when you were in the situation with Rita in the restaurant, she just all of a sudden had a gut feeling that she should look at the bill. And lo and behold, she looked at the bill, and there it was, glaring, that she saw it. So you talked about meeting some people and etc., and you had a gut feeling. This gut feeling is what we're talking about with most of the premonitions. It doesn't come in a word form. It comes in a feeling. It comes oftentimes from the gut. So sometimes people will feel a sensation from the gut. It's more connected to our feeling sense than our vision sense. So we might get this feeling, and our whole body feels attracted to something or repulsed from something. And this area of the brain, which is the gut, this area of the body, which is our third, I call it the third brain, the gut brain. Some people call it the second brain. But this gut awareness, this is so deeply our unconscious, and it is tied to the now, but it's an expansive now, not the microsecond now, but the now of the day. Okay.
Yeah.
What's happened in the morning, what's happened in the afternoon, what's happened in the evening. And all of that past, present, future is expressed as a now. The American Indian, when they got the American Indian and they tried to give him jobs, the American Indian did not know really what 4 o'clock was. He understood Monday. So you told him to come to work at Monday at 4 o'clock. He would come on Monday, but 4 o'clock didn't mean much to him. Because his awareness of time was in the day. Okay. Not so much in the hour. Now in our culture, in our Western type culture, now we talk about the minute, you're late, you're 2 minutes late. In fact, Rita's coming in the door now. I hear her, but she's late.
Hello.
There you go. See,
Hi.
we're talking about you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So this gut area of the brain is much more expansively aware. So, do we have any questions about anything?
Well, no, but I mean, I'm thinking. I was reading that book by Mantak Chia, and I showed a few of the slides now, and I really think that this kind of awareness and training is critical, going forward, because if I can group together a lot of things that you've spoken about as well, you've also spoken about non-judgmental awareness, and that for me was quite a huge awakening as well. So we've got to, I think, be in that space where we are in the now, like you've just said, and operate exactly from there in very much the present centered space. So that's what I've been practicing, and that's what I think pulled me through, and definitely am seeing more the reality, less of the veil is down, if I can put it that way. The veil seemed to be lifting all the time. And, you mentioned last time about joy and happiness. And I really can say that that's true. And so there might be other people that want to speak on the chat and speak to us or come in and share, your experiences as well.
So, non-judgmental awareness is basically this is what we talk about with enlightenment. And we're not talking about children now. We're talking about as you become more adult. The word area of the brain, the mental chatter, starts to take over.
Yeah.
And all of the meditative experiences around the world are all designed to lower the mental chatter. So whether you're doing Vipassana meditation, where you become the observer and you watch your mind from behind, or whether you're doing mantra meditation, all the different types of meditation will be such that to try to control and lower the words in the mind. Then we start to look at our breath. Everything was revolving about learning how to breathe, with deep breathing, getting oxygen coming in and out. And then as we get away from the words and transcend the words and get deeper and deeper into the awareness, we start to then experience all of our senses of sight, sound, haptic, feeling, etc. And we don't judge it. We don't label it. We don't try to say, oh, that's good, that's bad, that's hot, that's cold. We just experience it. Just like the animal would.
Observing.
We're just experiencing. And that experience then, if we get to non-judgmental awareness, and if we can get rid of the words for just 10 minutes, you can get to the Buddhist mind, the Buddha mind. Just 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Without the words. It's really difficult. It takes years of training. Some people it takes lifetimes of training. But to get there, and then you're able to find that oneness and share with the universe. And that is what the true experience of enlightenment is about. And this little pendant is meant to be kind of a tool to help increase your body awareness and to give you a different sense of time that will help to speed up the process. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do a little exercise to take people into the past. Okay.
Okay.
So I want everybody to relax. Can you hear the electroceutical playing?
Daisy, it was playing and then it stopped.
Is it playing now?
No.
Now?
I can hear something. No?
Now?
Yes, better.
You can still hear me speak?
Yes.
Okay. Just for a couple of minutes, let's do a little exercise now. I'm playing the electroceutical, which is creating the vibrations to help take us into the past. So I want everybody to sit back and relax and concentrate on the breath. Feel the breath coming in like the wave of the ocean and going out, taking away all the impurities. Concentrate on the breath. Feel the breath coming in like the wave of the ocean and going out, taking away all the impurities. The mind is like a clear blue sky extending infinitely in every direction. Through the sky pass clouds, but the clouds are not the sky. Through the mind pass words, but the words are not the mind. The words just pass through. The clouds just pass through the sky. The mind is like a clear blue sky extending infinitely in every direction, and infinitely in every direction of time. The mind transcends back to the beginning of time, to the end of time. The soul is immortal. The soul is without time. And now feel deeply that sensation. Expand that bubble of time. Now there might be some time in your past, in your deep past, and maybe something was a point of interest. Maybe it's a tragedy, maybe it's a celebration, maybe it's a happy day, maybe it was a sad day. Maybe you did something. I want you to pick a time in the past that comes to you from your gut. Pick a time, pick a sense, pick something in your past. See it, feel it. And now you're going to go back into time to go to that place. What were you wearing? How did you feel? Who were you with? Feel that time, that place. It might come and hold, it might fade in and out. Feel the breath. Feel the time. Sense it. Feel it. What is the emotional state that you're in? Is there something at this point in time that you might want to do different? Is there a message that you want to send from the future back to the past? Now that you're there, what is the message? What is the difference that you want? Maybe you were a victim. Now you can become a victor, because now you get a chance to rewrite that past and change it. You get a chance to rewrite history. Because history is not so old and fast. It's flexible. And if you can reconstruct the memory, you can reconstruct the past. Ideas fade in, fade out. But you can't change the past. This is your opportunity. Feel the emotions. Feel the sense. Now don't judge or rate this event. Don't get too wordy. But as you change this past, it will change your present and change your future. Feel the sense. Allow the past to change. Don't force it to change. Reconstruct the memory. Reconstruct the actions. Certain reconstructions might be difficult. Certain reconstructions might be easy. Send yourself a message to the past. And then see it, feel it. Deepen your feelings. Now maybe another time of the past comes out. Maybe something different. Just be flexible. Feel it, see it. Restructure, reorganize. Here's your chance to modify the past, if you wish. Maybe there's something that you wanted to say to someone. Now's your chance. Maybe there was a bad decision. Here's your chance to correct. Feel the mind. Feel the past. It's just all part of the universe. The mind extends infinitely in every direction, and also in the direction of time. So now we can come back to the room. Back to your room. And you're going to notice that your present has changed.
I feel released.
You feel released?
Yes. Feel like to
Anybody else have a comment?
So if everybody, if you want to write down what your experiences were, I mean, Desi, that was phenomenal. entering into the infinity that you always speak about. And wow, what a consciousness, what a state of being.
That's just a little taste. I'm working on a much
thank you.
professional video. That's just a little taste of it there. Helen writes about, she can get a copy of it. Yes, I'm making something much more professional. I didn't finish it. But this is just a little taste of what the past expression is like. Okay.
We have the same similar one also for going into the future vibration.
Helen writes that question about the vagus nerve.
Yeah.
The vagus nerve, which is runs out of the brain into the gut and runs by the heart. So the vagus nerve is connected to all of these. Stabilizing the vagus nerve is a very, very important part of life. It's connected to our parasympathetic relaxation system. And it is very, very key. I also have a new electroceutical on the vagus nerve, which I was working on this morning, and I didn't finish it either.
Well, Desi, this is an incredibly important part of all of our development, because this mind needs to slow down. The traffic needs to stop. We need to empty it. Everything that you've been speaking about today, because it's just clouding. It's clouding our decision making. It's clouding our awareness. It's taking our energy.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I found centered with this thing. But centered takes on a whole new meaning, because we're talking about gut-centered. We
need our verbal mind to do tasks. It's very important. We need that. But then we just don't need to stay there. See? So we don't need to stay there. So now let me give you a little taste of the future. Let's take a little taste into the future. And this is the electroceutical for the future. Can you hear it?
Yes.
Can you hear my voice as well?
Yes.
This is a vibration to open up a portal into the future. So I want you to go back to the breath. Feel the breath. Close the eyes if you wish, or the eyes will close. The mind is like a clear blue sky, extending infinitely in every direction and infinitely through time. The past, the present, and the future all have a flexibility. You have free choice. As you choose, as you think, you become. I want you to see the future you. See the future you in 1 week. Let your mind go into the future. See it. Do you want yourself to be better in that next week? What are some of the things you might do today to make that person better? See the future you in 1 month now. What would you like better in 1 week? What do you need to become, to do in the present that will allow you to have a better future? Where do you want to be? What do you envision? What do you want? As you see these things, you start to set up vibrations that bring them. As you open your mind to the premonitions of the moment, over the next couple of days, you'll be able to listen to the premonitions that will guide you to become what you want to become. Don't sense limitations. Let your mind go free to create any type of future. Let's be playful with the mind. Expand our mind into the future. What did you change in your past that now will make a better future? What are the things you need to let go of? What are the behaviors you need to avoid? How can you become a better you? Increase your spirit with compassion, your self-worth, your confidence, your vitality, your health, your wellness, your wealth. You can get wealth from health. Open your mind now and envision that future you, what you wish. And open your heart with premonitions to guide you today. Mind extends infinitely in every direction and infinitely through time. As you think, it will become. As you envision, it will come to you. What are the behaviors in the now that will take you to this place of vision? Now you can come back to the room. And now. So giving you a little taste of the past, a little taste of the future to expand your awareness. Now the most important. Just make sure that as you go to sleep, you use happy thoughts to get you to sleep. And use happy thoughts that are constructive of what you're going to do every day to make your life better. You can change the past. You can change the future. Everything that happens, but you can do it in the concept of the day. What are you going to do tomorrow? As you go to sleep, just relax with happy thoughts about what you're going to positively do tomorrow to achieve your goals. Don't be too overzealous and try to do too much. But make sure that every day you do at least something to make yourself better. Then maybe 2 things, 3, 4, maybe 1,000 things you do in a day that make you better. And then that gradually takes you to where you want to be. Because the mind can do anything. It just takes time.
Induction.
Gladys got hot in her left side. Well, feel it.
I had some tears coming out of my eyes. I was thinking of releasing some family and emotional stress.
And what we're talking about is not just all of the words. It's all of existence is not just of words, not just of verbal understanding. There's emotional understanding, there's gut understanding. There's many different ways that we feel, see, and sense the world around us. And the pendant is there as a tool, a little bit of a technology, quantum technology, to help you to shield yourself and to broaden your perspective of time and open the door. Make opening the doors a little easier.
That's true.
Some people need some people would need the pendant more, some people would need it less.
And I think that the daily practice of meditation and visualizing the future and also thinking of the past can also expand our own senses, and we can learn more what our abilities are, what we can do, more visual.
And maybe we'll waste less time and construct more happiness and do better things. For me, what I do is I go to sleep with happy thoughts. I wake up about 5:30, 6 o'clock. God's talking to me. Let me tell you.
Sometimes for.
Sometimes 4. But I wake up and I'm just so full of creativity. I do creativity till about 2 o'clock, and then it's time for me to wind down. I do my exercises, spend some family time. Then in the evening, it's time for me to just play, and I'll just watch television. I like science fiction movies, Star Trek, these type of things. I don't like to watch cut 'em up. I don't like to watch movies where people get cut up and things like that.
We like psychological movies,
Things.
adventure movies.
If there's too much blood, I don't let my mind go there. And then I prepare for the next day, and I work and create. Make sure I have time to enjoy.
We create together a lot as well.
I definitely think that this raised consciousness, the stabilized scalar wave, it's infectious. I'm finding that I'm been affecting people, and people are affecting me back, because you're just on a raised vibrational space. So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm really seeing, and I said it last week, but remarkable shifts in people. Like Lyme's in 2 weeks, you can see riddled on the microscope, riddled spirochetes everywhere. And in 2 weeks, I had to look to find two, the whole blood sample. So it's speeded up the healing.
You need to get those pictures. Get those pictures.
Okay, I have them. I have them.
But send them to me.
Will do.
I'm working on the journal right now. So I need those pictures. That's great.
So that's what
This is a sustained scalar wave, so it's a technological device, and it's built with time crystals. And this is one of the very first things that Google just invented, some different time crystals. They say this is going to be possibly the hallmark of a whole new generation, and maybe discoveries. These time crystals is a discovery that's going to change humanity. So it's going to be really great.
Exactly what we need right now. Right
so
here and now.
People, recognize as you get the premonitions, try to see when the premonitions are coming from the verbal mind, and so that you understand, well, that's a verbal suggestion that came to me by association of what I saw or something. And then try to gradually listen more and more for the gut feelings and the emotional feelings. And as you get the feelings that come to premonition, use the heart to evaluate, use the brain to evaluate, make your choices, etc. Don't just listen to the gut, don't listen only to the heart, only to the brain. But try to let these three things work together. And so much of our culture has been designed to forget about the gut feeling, forget about the heart. So we want to try to expand our mind so that we listen to all these different feelings and they all come together to work. So we have our little triumvirate, as we say, the three parts of us, the three brains, that all work together and harmonize. And as we do this, stress will just become a thing of the past.
Yeah.
Stress will come and go because it will be processed. When you process stress, you need all three of these areas of the brain, all three of the areas of the thinking areas of the human being. And when we emotionally and gut process and brain process in the left and right hemispheres, and we do all that, then we just discharge, we process all that stress, and we then live and learn. Some of the people I know, a lot of my patients, they just live, they don't learn. We want to teach people to live and learn, not to just live.
Correct.
Jane and Desi made amazing EMDR videos to process the stress and emotions from left to the right. And if we play that before going to sleep, that can improve the quality of our sleep. And then we can also resolve certain issues during sleep. It is very interesting because
next week I will show some of it.
Yeah, we will show more examples of that, but that is a very powerful tool to decrease stress and to create also.
Absolutely.
I'm working on the electroceutical glossary, so you'll be able to. It's pretty thick actually, but I'm working on a book that you'll be able to then type in what disease or what thing that you want and find the electroceuticals much
fantastic.
More. So I saw
you posted a nice one on the mitochondria.
Oh yeah. No, I've been posting them like crazy, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm working on a very extensive pain formula now, and very interesting. And I'm doing the work with the ultrasound and the infrasound, and creating just astounding new things. So I'm doing all of that, and next week we'll talk a little bit more about the MDR, and it's about time for me to knock off here.
I've got a few slides just to contextualize. As always, we're dovetailing, so I put a few of the slides together just to contextualize.
You going to show them now?
What you said, yes, if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, so here we have our free energy battery scalar wave living electrical device. First of its kind by our very special Desiree Dubonnet from IMUNE University. And here is what I pictured when she spoke to me about an expanded dimension of time and space. And this is really an elevation much, much higher and greater than Einstein ever even conceptualized, and really enhanced by using a kind of a time crystal, because it pushes you into that space and keeps you there. So if you're following what I'm saying, and when Desi said to you, expand your mind, we can actually do this and we can train. And then she talked about the past, present, and future, where we are having the premonitions into the future and the retro-causality changing the past, and the interchange that exists there, where you go from the past even into the future. So that's just enormous, using the yin and the yang energies. And then, who are the people that are going to really benefit from this? We can actually say everybody, but really people who want to be involved with intelligent decision making. Because when you're in that centered gut space, this is where you're operating from, and you're making less mistakes. So educators, politicians, doctors, pharmacists, health practitioners, business leaders, wellness coaches, individuals and families. So we've got a few families now that have even, got a few of the time crystals, and we're going to be observing and seeing operation on a much higher level, non-verbal, by the way. So a lot of this is well, most of it anyway, is in a non-verbal space. So there's hundreds of areas and avenues where we need to be making intelligent decisions. And that's what it's all about. Another one of the big benefits is the Tesla Energy Scalar Quantum Negative EMF Protection Bioscience. And Desi, you did talk about this. There is this level of protection. I showed my slides 2 weeks ago, after 1 week of actually wearing the time crystal device, and already my radiation, I was on 100. It was 100 out of 100 for radiation. So we've already seen results, and I've got more people to do before and afters. There's probably about another 9-10 people to do. So that information is going to be coming through. It's always good to validate what we're speaking about. And then, we all know with the quantum medicine and the Skio, Educta, QUEX, we are speaking always about the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the unconscious mind. And here are the percentages of the responsibility and the also the awareness and the understanding and the universal connection. So really, really the subconscious mind. And that's where Desi always says, we give the subconscious a voice. And that's what we're doing with our quantum devices. And we're really wanting to enhance all of this with the time crystal device. But let's put that aside, because that's important. But what we're really focusing on today, and I showed this a little bit earlier, and Kira Mantak Cheer, thank you very much. And quantifying what Desi's been saying as well. We've got the observation from the brain, observing, quietly, unemotionally observing. We need to train ourselves and not get the adrenaline going and not get the cortisol going and the stress. Get into the parasympathetic space, which Desi also alluded to regarding the vagus nerve and so on. Parasympathetic nervous system is the unconscious, the elimination, the digestion, circulation, the relaxation part, with the healing part. So we want to quieten that mind, quieten the sympathetic nervous system. And then the heart is where Desi talked about the feelings. Our consciousness, our real consciousness is sitting there. And then the awareness in the gut, that bottom part over here. So I think this picture really does describe what I'm saying very, very well. So we're wanting to drop all of this down into that gut-centered space. The second brain, the brain. And I'll show you one of these slides here as well. I showed this earlier again, but you can see all of this. So this will be the brain, this will be the heart, and then this will be the abdomen, the gut. And that's where we're speaking about operating from an observation, a consciousness, and an awareness point of view. So let's see what happens when we start doing that. We've got the upper, middle, and the lower. So I'm just going to read this because it's saying that the nerve endings, especially relating to emotional responses, are the same in the stomach intestines as in the upper mind. Very, very interesting. And Desi said also that is where the microbes are, the highest concentration of microbes in our immunity is right there. So let's see how we can actually affect a change in our immunity and the healing of our body coming up. So we need to lower and sink the upper mind down into the lower mind, and that calms it, stops the traffic. So we can use all three for thinking: awareness, consciousness, and observing the mind together in the abdomen. And let the upper mind rest because it actually uses 80% of our energy. We want to observe from the abdomen with awareness. When the upper mind is stimulated, the consciousness and awareness are switched off. Now that's quite an important part because we don't want to be operating in this space, totally sympathetic nervous system without being conscious or aware. That's where we make the mistakes and we choose the left instead of the right or vice versa. So let the upper mind rest and build up strength to deal with the daily stresses. And then we're wanting always to think clearly and live productively. So activate our consciousness, connect to the universal force, the morphogenic field. We've talked about that quite a lot. Start interlinking with others, interlinking with also, other people or already in torsion, scalar waves. We all have that already. But if we sharpen our awareness, then we can get more collective transformation happening. So this for me was quite important. Awareness and consciousness equal the visualization into actualization. So the meditation that Desi took us through was exactly that. Go to the past and clear, go to the future and visualize, and come back and actualize. That is true manifestation. Potential energy into kinetic energy. Our purpose, why we're here. And when we're doing all of this, we're in that subconscious space, which is where the answers are for us. It's no question. If you go there, those of you who did the exercise, it's no question where you went, what you're going to do now. And as Desi said, go to sleep with those pleasant, joyful, positive thoughts. And this is where also we can bring our affirmations in. All right? My body detoxes well. Only microbes that are not pathogens or parasites or non-symbiotic to my body can live with me. You can make those affirmations to heal yourself and heal others. And also very important to me in any event is the problem-solving aspect, because you could take with your pendant a question to the past and to the future and back and forth, depending on what layers need to be shifted, and come up with real, universal, morphogenically directed answers and solutions. So we really are entering a much higher level with all of this. And this is just what I wanted to say regarding those people who want to start studying with or without a quantum device, with your pendants. Come in online. There's the most amazing course. It's a sensory overload. It's more than you could ever imagine. expansion into the infinite infinity, and that is this immune diploma course. It's all there. You can screenshot this and you can watch it in the replay. And then regarding these crystals, I've really looked at this, and what we really will be leaving behind is a legacy. It's an heirloom device which you will leave to your children and your children's children, because this has a battery for 300 years. So just to say all of that, and all of this is coming at us new. We are experimenting, sharing. And there's those of you who are business inclined, there's various options as well in regard to sharing this kind of technology with the world. So I don't know where you went in your future space just now, but in any case, if this resonates with you, as I always say, we need to do what does resonate with us, what reaches out to us. So Desi, thank you for all our training so far. It's been amazing. I hope in a short space of time I've been able to also encapsulate a bit of the essence of what you're speaking and what's resonated with me.
That sounds pretty good. I like what you said there.
Okay, good.
Nice presentation.
Yeah, this little pendant is there's a church about 200 meters from my house. They're playing their gongs. It's 8 o'clock. But yeah, this is just a new type of little bit of technology that will really help everybody, whoever you are. It'll improve the mind, improve your connection to the past and future. It's very, very exciting, and I think it also will help to shield your body from the electrosmog and all the different stress, electromagnetic stress that's happening. But I'm going to have to knock off for the night.
But I think what it actually gives us, it is mostly an emotional express and not for the verbal mind. These experiences which I have experienced are hard to phrase in sentences.
I told them about you and the premonition. The bill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Rita she never ever looked at a bill. And she says, I have a premonition. I said, what? And she said, let me look at the bill. She looked at the bill, there was about a 30 euro mistake.
Yeah, there was a certain euro mistake.
But this is where we can use affirmations. In other words, I don't want to be involved with anyone who's trying to blindfold me into anything. I want clarity of thought. I want to see through. I want to see the truth. Your affirmation could be, I want to see the truth.
Yeah, I'm involved with honest people.
Exactly. This is to help you sense that out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to knock off. I'm kind of hungry.
Me too.
So I'm going to knock off. I wish everybody a good night. Write to me, and I'll make a presentation on the EMDR side of this for next week.
Stunning.
Okay, good night.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks a million. Okay, everybody. The sweetest of dreams ever to all of you. I think we're honored to have experienced what we did this evening. Very expansive, very mind-blowing, very, very into the infinite consciousness. And I think to hear about this from the source is just amazing. So we really are blessed and honored to have Desi taking us through all this. It's real gold. And thank you for coming through. It's always an honor to have all of you as well, because you know what, we're only as good as all of you who are listening in, because it works like that. It's a bouncing off of energy. So absolutely lovely to see you all. I'll make the replay, share it, and as Desi said, write to us, share your experiences. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.